So in the 1980s, there is a stay-at-home mom who stays home with her new baby, and they live in a very small area with lots and lots of traffic. And when school gets out, there's like 3 different schools that get out around the same time, lots of traffic. She sees kids walk by every single day. Once school is let out, it's like she automatically knows what time it is because the streets just get flooded with children running home, getting home, cars moving in and out. And so she always puts her little girl right next to the window because the little girl just loves looking out the window. She loves seeing the kids. And there's been some kids too that have walked by that see the baby and they wave too. So the baby naturally always gets excited for this time of the day, and the mother adores it also. So the mother naturally puts her baby right by this big bay window, and she is waiting for the kids to come out too. And all of a sudden it gets really, really dark and quiet, almost as if this really, really big storm is getting ready to start. And so she steps on her front porch and she's looking around. She doesn't see anybody, like nobody. And this is exactly the time that school is supposed to get out. So she's looking around and she's like, this is so strange. It dropped like 20 degrees. She instantly got cool sitting out on her porch, walking around trying to see what in the world is happening. The baby is safe right inside. She can see her in the window. Then all of a sudden she looks over, and walking down the street all by herself is this little girl. And so she naturally was like, well, that's strange. She's the only one that got left out of school, and she's walking all by herself right in the middle of the street. Notice that she's wearing this big wool sweater, and the sweater was fine now that it was cooler, but earlier in the day it was much warmer. Like, this sweater would not have been what a child would have been sent to school in. So she was like, well, that's really strange. And it was this big brownish sweater, and it looked heavy. Starts to really watch this girl walking all by herself, and she's about 9 or 10 years old. And so she starts to yell at her. She's like, hey, did you just get out of school? You know, like, never seen this girl before, but trying to figure out why this girl is all by herself, why no other kids are around, and what is this girl doing walking towards her house. Then this little girl continues to walk right up to her house by this tree. And this lady's like, hey, can I help you? Like, you know, do you need anything? And this little girl just like looks at her and glares. And she instantly was like, that's strange. Like, I don't know who this little girl is, but the way she glared at me, very strange. So the mom naturally is a little more on guard because this is strange. She's not sure what this little girl's going to do, why she's acting the way she is, and not even saying a word. So she walks up to this tree in their yard, and all of a sudden she starts like picking at it. And the mom standing on the porch kind of starts yelling at her. She's like, what are you doing? Well, come to find out, this little girl's sweater was covered in nothing but caterpillars. So she's taking these caterpillars off of her sweater and she's sticking them to this tree. And the whole time the mom is just like, get off my property. What are you doing? She just keeps looking at her and glaring and just taking more and more and putting them on this tree. So the mom is completely alarmed and she's like, I don't know what to do, what to say. Like, she's obviously not replying to me. So she starts getting a little more aggressive. She's like, you need to get out of here. I don't know what you're doing. Get out of here. And the little girl just looks at her, glares, and starts walking away, right back to where she came from. And so the mom naturally runs out to this tree and is like trying to figure out what's going on. Then she just starts smacking all these caterpillars off of this tree, and some had gone too far that she couldn't get them. But she's very irritated because they've had a caterpillar infestation from this tree this entire summer, and her husband's been really trying to treat it. Well, now she figures out this weird instance could be from this girl. And her entire sweater was nothing but caterpillars moving on her. Absolutely insane. She kept watching the little girl as she walked off, and eventually the little girl turned the corner and left. And just as soon as she was out of her sight, the clouds went away, it got warm again, and all these children started running around and getting out of school just like normal. She has no idea how to explain it. She knows she sounds crazy. She told her husband, but she's like, I know this sounds insane. And ever since that instance, that last time, caterpillar issue almost fizzled away, but she watched her put them on it from this makeshift caterpillar sweater. So it's very, very strange. And of course, if someone told me that story, I'd be like, you sure that's real?